Okay, so I know that I said that I'm gonna upload Tuesdays and Thursdays, but for some reason, whenever I'm like, damn, I really don't have a lot to do in life, I guess I can put more work into this thing. Life is like, now you do. So I'm sorry, I'm going back to uploading on Thursdays only. I think that if I upload twice a week, also, it's just gonna wear me out a lot, and also it's gonna wear out you guys. I mean, like I said in previous videos, you can only talk about mental health so much before it becomes tedious and tiring. So yeah, we're back to Thursdays only. So today I actually want to talk about a topic that I wanted to talk about quite a long time ago. Yeah, I thought I'd talk about intrusive thoughts and maladaptive daydreaming. Intrusive thoughts isn't just maladaptive daydreamer problems. It happens to pretty much everyone. Intrusive thoughts is the one thing that I hate most about maladaptive daydreaming because the smallest of things are triggers, right? Like being on the internet and seeing certain things can really be a trigger to me, even if it has the best intentions and if it's not meant to trigger anyone ever. And the problem lies with me and not with the content itself. And I'm not saying this about other triggering content, by the way. I'm just talking about my own intrusive thoughts currently. I have to force myself to think about something else whenever these triggers happen because my mind would go absolutely insane. It would obsess over these things that genuinely upset me. Like I said before, intrusive thoughts isn't a maladaptive daydreaming thing necessarily. It could happen to people with OCD or ADHD and ADD or depression. You know, it's intrusive thoughts can happen to anyone. So there are two things that happen with intrusive thoughts and maladaptive daydreaming for me personally. Firstly, as I mentioned earlier, my mind obsesses over things that genuinely upset me, that I don't want to think about. When I read, see, or hear something that I don't want to, it will haunt me for weeks on end. And this is because my mind wants to think about it for some reason. It wants to understand what happened and it wants to try and put itself in the position of being there. Generally, I try to think about how the people or individuals or animals or whatnot involved in these things that I read about or saw or heard about, how they felt. Me trying to put myself in the shoes of whatever's happening isn't like a victim mentality or whatnot. It could just be a reaction of empathy and sympathy, trying to understand how bad it was exactly and trying to relate to the victims themselves or to the people involved. I think that's a human thing to try and understand how they felt, to say, damn, I could not imagine how I would have felt if that was me. Like that's just a normal thing people do. It's interesting to me because I actually have a friend who just she talks about certain things as if it doesn't get to her at all. Like she's not affected by it at all. And I'm always like, how do you do that? How are you not affected by these things? It's just interesting how these things are seemingly that much worse for people who tend to focus on them or their minds tend to obsess over these things. And then secondly, and I made a video about this, is for some reason, like my maladaptive daydreaming acts up and I imagine the worst scenarios during times of panic or anxiety. In a previous video, I spoke about my cat acting a little strange and how my mind would immediately make up scenarios about going to the vet, contacting someone late at night, not having a car, not having money, how she's all I have and I'm gonna lose her and it's just gonna be the worst time of my life. And I think that a lot of people with anxiety do this, you know. Again, it's not just maladaptive daydreaming related, but maladaptive daydreaming adds to this because to us our thoughts and our daydreams are so vivid, you know. It's like they're real. So when we think about these things and it's intrusive, you can imagine it has a really bad effect on us. I think I also mentioned in a previous video that I'm really good at crying on demand or becoming sad on demand. And that's because I can immediately put myself in a scenario where I'm extremely sad. It's very easy to me. I don't know if other maladaptive daydreamers can do this, but for me, it's like I just daydream about it and I'm there. I have those emotions. Also, when I walk around, like even if I just have to go do chores or if I have to walk to my kitchen or whatever, my mind thinks about these things automatically. So that's also why they're intrusive. They're not the same as willingly daydreaming. They're there and I cannot think about anything else except that. And it's upsetting. You know, we don't want to think about these things. The thing is that maladaptive daydreaming has some genuinely good features to itself. But it's stuff like this that just makes it absolutely awful. You know, the constant reminders that you're not the person who you are in your daydreams, and the constant reminders that your daydreams aren't real, that your powers aren't real, that type of stuff, that adds to it. But these intrusive thoughts, the way our minds just constantly hammer on these thoughts, it genuinely sucks. It's extremely destructive and terrible for a person's mental health. So yeah, I don't know if you guys ever experience stuff like this. I don't want to trigger anything. If you want to talk about your own experiences in the comments, if you watch the video despite the trigger warning or whatnot, then yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear your own thoughts and your own opinions and your own experiences with this. So yeah, hey, that's it for this video. Again, thanks so much for all the support. Sorry for going quiet. Anyway, that's it from me. Please take care of yourselves, make good choices as always. Love you guys.